dig the most.
Up next was a match that I'm completely floored with. Probably one of the best things I've seen this year.
Dash the Volcano Road.
Yeah, now how's that for a title for a match? Dash the Volcano Road. It sounds like a playset for like Hot Wheels.
Dash the Volcano Road. I was definitely dashing down this road, and what I met wasn't some apple trees throwing apples at me.
No.
Oh no. It was two stiff Japanese fucks beating the hell out of each other with a lot of stiff kicks.
On one side, representing Pro Wrestling Noah's Ark, was Kenta.
Yes.
And then on the other side was Nakajima. Now this was my first time seeing the protege of Kensuke Sasaki, Nakajima. And I gotta say, you know, Polakimi once said, don't believe the hype. But when it comes to Nakajima, you best believe it. You're going to get kicked in the teeth.
And
one of the stiffest wrestlers I've ever seen.
Yeah. And they just started out kicking each other, trading kicks to the face.
I mean, Nakajima might look kind of unassuming. He's kind of a bulky guy, got a black kind of flat top, kind of chunky, you know.
Much
doesn't have a lot of charisma.
Both of them look a lot like Waha.
But even more so, I think, you know, Nakajima reminds me of a younger Kensuke Sasaki, his mentor. But the guy, not only, and you pointed it out, not only does this guy kick and hit as hard as anybody in the business, but he will take his lumps.
Yeah. There were some
which I love. That's why I always loved Chris Benoit. I know his name is a touchy subject out there, but
yeah, don't touch it.
But Benoit would hit you hard, but he would take it right back what he gave. And here Nakajima, there was one point where they're out on the floor, and Kenta just picks him up, dumps him, sternum first on the metal guard rail, and he didn't put his arms down to block it. Nakajima just sold it right on his chest.
There was a couple point in times where Nakajima got knocked off the top rope, and he went ass first through the fucking concrete.
Yeah. And if you want stiff strikes,
you're not
especially kicks, and I'm not talking about weak, you know, I'm not talking about your standard leg kick. These are kicks to the face, to the chest, to the sternum, to the gut, knees, elbows, forearms, open hands, pop strikes.
Yeah, we're not slapping that shit off the side of your pants.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. Not off the windbreakers. It's off your face. And it's excellent. I mean, there was awesome sales back and forth. They were really breaking into each other. And there was some good psychology. There's one point in time where Nakajima is ready to German Kenta, and Kenta grabs for the ropes even though he knows he's not going to get it. But it gives you that sense that, you know, he's looking to find a way out.
And I mentioned the strikes, but as you just said, the suplexes and the power moves that we see here that were on display are phenomenal too. Some bone-crunching, neck-breaking shit here, fans.
And it went nearly 30 minutes.
One of the best matches I've seen this year.
It was
Let's talk about our scores.
I gave it a 9.
And I give it an 8, and only for this reason. This match is certainly worthy of a 9. And a couple years down the road, this might be bumped up to a 9. The reason I gave it an 8 is because they're in a building with only maybe 200-300 fans. I could be underestimating slightly, but it's a small venue. There's not a lot of backstory leading into this, so there's not a lot of meaning to the match. That's not taking anything away from the performances here, because I will say that these two guys fought harder and performed better than probably 9/10 of the workers anywhere. I mean, last 5 years,
they didn't flub no moves. They both sold their ass off.
The only thing preventing me from giving it a 9 is it just didn't have the big backstory and the big coliseum. It didn't have some of the factors,
the big feel.
Some of the factors that make the giant classics that we look back on.
But on recommendability,
oh, absolutely. Like I said, this is the most physical match I've seen this year. Phenomenal, fantastic.
I said a lot.
It does.
I've seen a lot of stiff shit this year, and this is off
and
the
they
charts.
kept in a phenomenal pace. Nobody, you know...
Like I said, they started out with the Yuzuka kicks, trading back and forth, and that was just the beginning. 30 minutes in, and they're still killing each other's faces. You're not going to find a more physical match than this.
Match number 5, the main event, the Take the Dream in Osaka match.
You got to.
The founder of the Kensuke Office, Kensuke Sasaki himself.
The Michael Scott of the office.
Against the Daryl, the warehouse guy. No, I'm just ribbing him. Actually, they're Michi Marufuji, who is, you know, former Noah champion. He's
held every belt.
He's held, you know, he's won over the hearts of the American fans with his stints in ROH. This match, I gave it 8 too as well.
Yeah, I gave it an 8.
And here's kind of the dueling differences between the two. Why this match maybe wasn't as spectacular or as stiff as the match before it. It did have that feel that the other one didn't. So why this one could have maybe even been given a 7. The reason it got the 8 is because the near falls, the crowd's ball. The crowd loves Kensuke Sasaki.
Yeah.
They pop big for a lot of the spots in the last act. And, you know, I said this to you after the match. Had Sasaki been a few years younger, these guys could have probably ripped the building down anywhere in the world.
There's a couple spots where Marufuji's laying in some kicks and Sasaki don't have much settling on him. But, you know, maybe he's earned the fact that he doesn't have to sell everything fucking 110%. Like you said, and you know, 5 years ago, yeah, he would have.
Yeah.
But
but it kind of,
it's
you
an
know,
excellent match.
him not being as mobile and things like that, maybe kind of worked to their advantage in a way, because Marufuji, you know, was all over the place, and basically what it was is you had this guy flying around, and then you had this brick, this tank, Kensuke Sasaki.
It was the classic speed versus power matchup. There's one point in time where Sasaki's beating the shit out of Marufuji on the outside, and then he goes to roll in. Marufuji automatically jumps up and, for the lack of a better term, does a Van Terminator off the ropes and catches him as he's getting back in the ring. Really excellent. Like I said, classic speed versus power. Sasaki was slamming him all over the place on his dome.
There's two particular spots that I have to mention. One was Marufuji was on the apron, and Sasaki took his head off with a lariat.
Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to